we look at this whole new way of operating in terms of digital, where our banking processes, our customer footfalls at the branches, our physical branches itself being now getting into a question mark whether we require such huge real estate or not. So when we are looking at that space, and the automatic fallout of that is that people will get freed up. So when you have people getting freed up from the digital innovations that is happening, how do you utilize that people and where? So that's the priority and challenge that I would put is something that we need to be cognizant of and really have some good solutions towards.
So one of my major challenges is how do I manage to keep it yet attractive for I have a variety of talent with me. You know, a certain percentage of it is totally tech-oriented, technology-driven, doing the actual developmental stuff in the organization. And then there is a next lot of my chunk of my employees who are field, staff. They are my feet on street. We are branchless. We have feet on street, risking themselves in the open all throughout the year, etc. So for me, the challenge was to keep the different types of talent engaged in many different ways and forms.
Advantage. So if you ask me strategically, what are the things, I think being there with my employees, being more empathetic towards the need of the hour has been the direct want of HR. The second thing that we have really done well is, fortunately, very early on, I invested in an HRMS. The amount of commitments in enhancing learning of our employees, I think that's a big investment that we've made. And HR learning they used to be disinterested in learning. Today, everybody is learning. Whether it's a webinar, whether it's your learning management.
Absolutely.
That's your second big shift. The third big shift that's happened in HR is goal setting. We set goals, we track goals, but the ability to measure it, because your outcomes have become far stronger with 70% of people, maybe at the field, but there are 30% who still work out of home or other places in the bank. So 2 or 3 areas where we have upgraded our investments and, rightfully so.
The most important piece is whatever we're speaking about as leaders. I think so leaders are led it from the forefront. I'm absolutely confident all of us in this group have done it, seen it. I guess the pain point which I see is that while we say the right things and make the right noises, and if I take the liberty of using those words, how does the manager on the ground imbibe it and play it back to his or her teams? I guess that is extremely important. No. Otherwise, it tends to, just be right up there. The point is when you go back and check that, and we have been doing a lot of these engagements with the employees at large as well. For example, when we talk to the employees at senior analyst level, we come to know how much information is percolated down, right? And then we talk about various sets of communications. So I guess the mechanism of communicating through different sources is immense and paramount, but the percolation of information is also equally important.
One, of course, it is the meetings part. Everything is now digital. Meeting, don't know whether this is going to stay in the same manner going ahead, because people have started feeling that once in a while physical meeting is also really enjoyable. Second part is the learning. As Shanta mentioned, I think a lot of learnings are happening nowadays. E-learnings and the kind of webinars, courses that employees get registered, because there is enough and more time at their disposal now. And a lot of courses being offered by in-house as well as by other external agencies are available. So a lot of certifications are happening for the employees. The knowledge level definitely is increasing. And the third part is the engagement part. That also, I think, it can happen only through the digital mode. We have to stay connected with the employees. We have to have some engagement activities once in a while so as to be in touch with the employees. So
in today's time, especially from the pandemic perspective, the employee experience is very unique and different to people, and it is important for us to acknowledge that. Especially with working from home, with the support ecosystem getting impacted in the last few months and so on. So people are in different stages of their life. Some, live in a joint family. Some is a new mother. They have school-going kids. So different people are at different stage, and then trying to understand what is important for them and how they would like to balance their personal responsibilities and interest, and their office work is something that we also define as a dimension of employee experience. So we have enhanced our listening strategy via multiple channels, whether it is survey. So we listen more than ever in terms of monthly, quarterly, weekly, and then look at what is that our employees are saying. And we have created a format called as a check-in conversation, which we are encouraging every people leader to have with an employee at least once a week or a fortnight. And the check-in is not just about understanding how they have delivered and what are the blockers, but it is more in terms of how are they doing, what more can they do to enhance their engagement with the organization and their support. So that is one dimension of employee experience and the things that we had been doing.
In these times where you are promoting digital, but there is a break in either a page or there is a break in, break in a situation where the customer is not communicated where his transaction has gone through or not, that builds anxiety. And there is no intervention. Where would there be intervention? I know someone is not there watching you make the transaction and intervene. Look, you need help. I think there is going to be a lot of change in that area, because more and more straight through processing would happen.